The world is no longer ruled by kings and emperors. Yet the game of power has not changed. Most people stumble blindly through life, manipulated, exploited, and crushed by those who understand how to bend human nature to their will. The question is simple: will you be the pawn or the master? Today, I will show you how to outwit, outmaneuver, and dominate using 21 rules of power that would make even the most cunning rulers bow their heads. Human beings are predictable creatures of fear, desire, and vanity. They imagine themselves free, yet their choices are guided by invisible strings. Power belongs not to the strongest, nor the loudest, but to the one who understands the hidden forces that move men and women alike. In this dark theater of ambition, deceit is a weapon, charm a disguise, and loyalty a currency to be spent. What follows are 21 laws distilled from the struggles of rulers, tyrants, and manipulators across centuries. They are not for the faint-hearted. They are for those who would rather command than obey, who would rather shape the world than be shaped by it. Look into a mirror. What do you see? A face, a mask, a performance you have rehearsed so many times that you no longer recognize it as a performance. Every man, every woman wears one. The powerful understand this truth, the weak ignore it, and those who ignore it are forever deceived. You believe you know your colleagues, your friends, your lovers. You do not. You know only the mask they have chosen to display before you. The smile that hides contempt. The silence that disguises calculation. The courtesy that veils ambition. Human beings are actors, placed on a stage they call life. But unlike the theater, here the audience is also the prey. History proves it. Consider Julius Caesar. He cloaked himself in the mask of humility, presenting himself as a servant of Rome, a man of the people. His soldiers adored him, believing his modesty genuine. The Senate saw a patriot, not a threat. But behind this mask, Caesar's ambition burned. When the time came, he tore the veil away and revealed himself as master. Too late, his rivals discovered that the mask had been their prison. The lesson? Those who master the mask command reality. Those who fail become victims of illusions they never questioned. Now, ask yourself, how many masks do you wear? The obedient worker before your employer. The affectionate partner before your lover. The agreeable friend before your companions. And when no one is watching, what remains? Even you do not escape this theater. The self you cling to is not fixed, it is crafted. Psychology confirms what rulers have long understood: the human mind is not searching for truth, but for comfort, for survival, for belonging. People do not want to see the real you. They want the version of you that benefits them. And if you refuse to play that part, they will replace you with someone who will. This is why authenticity is a dangerous illusion. To speak your full mind, to reveal your true nature, is not bravery. It is self-destruction. The wise conceal their motives. They create masks not of fragility, but of power. Think of the corporate leader who plays the role of benevolent visionary, while in truth he is ruthless in pursuit of profit. His employees follow willingly, mistaking exploitation for inspiration. Or the politician who drapes himself in the language of morality and compassion, while his hand is busy signing deals with those who pay for his loyalty. The masses never question the mask, they crave it. And what of you? Do you not long for others to see you as noble, wise, perhaps even virtuous? Do you not carefully shape your words, your gestures, your very appearance to elicit admiration? You may deny it, but your denial is itself another mask. Understand this: power is not about truth. Power is about perception. If perception can be shaped, then truth itself bends to your will. A mask is not a lie, it is a weapon. But beware, to wear a mask convincingly, you must study the desires of those before you. Do they hunger for kindness? Wear compassion. Do they fear betrayal? Wear loyalty. Do they crave strength? Wear unshakable confidence. Each mask is a key, and each human heart is a locked door waiting to be opened. Still, there is danger. Wear the same mask too long, and you risk becoming its prisoner. Actors sometimes forget where the role ends and where the man begins. This is the fate of the hypocrite who believes his own illusions. A true strategist remembers always the mask is a tool, not an identity. You must be able to discard it, shift it, and craft new ones as circumstances demand. The Spanish diplomat Baltasar Gracián once wrote, "Respect is won by the appearance of greatness." Notice the word appearance. Not greatness itself, but the mask of greatness, for men are more easily deceived by the image than convinced by the reality. And here lies the uncomfortable truth. Those who cry for honesty, for transparency, for sincerity, they too wear masks. They simply demand that yours align with theirs. Strip away their righteous words, and you will find ambition, fear, envy, and hunger for control. So ask yourself when you next step into the room, what mask will you wear? Will you allow others to define the performance for you? Or will you choose the mask that secures advantage? Do not be naive. The lion that shows its fangs too soon starves. The serpent that reveals its venom before striking is crushed. To survive, you must master disguise. To rule, you must master performance. The psychology of masks is not about deception alone. It is about freedom. Freedom from being controlled by the illusions of others. Freedom to craft reality according to your will. The world is watching. They see only what you allow them to see. The question is not whether you wear a mask. The question is whose mask is sharper, stronger, more convincing, yours or theirs. Remember this truth, because in the next rule, you will see how fear and desire, those ancient engines of mankind, intertwine with the mask to enslave every soul. All men can be ruled, not through reason, not through virtue, but through the simplest forces of all, what they crave and what they dread. Desire pulls them forward. Fear holds them back. Between these two chains, the human soul is dragged wherever the master chooses. Look around you. The worker labors not because he loves his toil, but because he fears hunger. The lover whispers promises not because of pure affection, but because he fears rejection. The soldier marches into battle for the desire of glory, or the terror of shame. Strip away the illusions, and you will see the truth. Every action, every choice, every rebellion, and every obedience is born from desire or fear. The rulers of history knew this. Consider Alexander the Great. His men adored him, desiring the wealth and honor his campaigns promised. They marched willingly into distant lands, intoxicated by visions of spoils. Yet Alexander also punished desertion with ruthless severity, ensuring that fear kept loyalty as strong as desire. He understood the delicate balance to rule. One must ignite both the flame of longing and the shadow of dread. Now reflect on your own life. Have you not been steered by these same forces? Have you not accepted an opportunity, not because it was wise, but because you feared missing it? Have you not tolerated betrayal because you desired comfort more than confrontation? You are not as free as you imagine. No one is. Psychology confirms what princes already practiced. People are motivated more by loss than by gain. This is called loss aversion. Men will cling desperately to avoid losing what they already hold, even more fiercely than they strive to win something new. In other words, fear often outweighs desire. A wise manipulator uses this to shape behavior, promise a reward, but threaten the loss of it if obedience falters. Consider the modern corporation. Employees are promised raises, promotions, prestige. These are desires. But the true chain lies in fear. Fear of unemployment, of status decline, of being left behind. It is not the dream of climbing that keeps most men working. It is the terror of falling. Or think of religion. Desire for salvation, fear of damnation. Two levers that have moved billions of souls for centuries, binding them in obedience without the need for chains or armies. What king could hope for such power? And yet, desire should not be dismissed. Desire intoxicates. It blinds men to danger. Give them hope, a vision of pleasure or profit, and they will follow you into ruin. Caesar promised land to his soldiers, riches from conquest, honor eternal. These were desires powerful enough to drown out fear of death. When men are drunk on desire, they are willing slaves. But beware, desire alone is fragile. When promises fail, when rewards do not arrive, desire turns to resentment. Fear, however, endures. Fear anchors obedience long after desire fades. This is why rulers are remembered less for generosity than for punishment. Mercy can be forgotten, terror lingers. Which brings us to the question, is it better to rule through love or fear? The answer is simple. Both, if possible. But if you must choose, choose fear. Love is fickle. Desire shifts with the winds of fortune. But fear is constant. Do not mistake this truth for cruelty. To instill fear is not to sow hatred. The wise ruler makes his punishments swift, rare, and precise. Too much cruelty breeds rebellion. Too little invites disobedience. The art lies in balance. Be feared enough to command respect, but not so hated that your enemies grow desperate. Ask yourself, how do you control those around you? Do you tempt them with promises, or do you anchor them with consequences? Do they follow you because they long for your approval, or because they fear your disfavor? Understand this. Every relationship is a negotiation of desire and fear. A parent disciplines a child, balancing affection with consequence. A leader inspires ambition while reminding followers of the dangers of betrayal. Even lovers manipulate one another with promises of passion and the silent threat of withdrawal. You are both master and servant in this game. You wield desire and fear over others, even as they wield them over you. The question is not whether you participate. The question is whether you control the levers, or whether they control you. So study the hearts of those you would rule. Discover what they want most and what they dread most. Craft rewards that dazzle. Shape threats that terrify. And remember, the leash is strongest when both ends pull. Desire draws them closer. Fear prevents their escape. The chains are invisible, yet unbreakable. And those who learn to fasten them rule the world. But there is a darker art still. Masks and fear may bind the masses, yet loyalty itself is an illusion waiting to be broken. In the next law, we shall uncover how betrayal, calculated and precise, becomes not a weakness, but a weapon. Men speak endlessly of morality. They wear it as armor. They preach it as truth. They claim it as the foundation of justice, order, and civilization itself. But morality is not armor. It is a leash. A leash designed to restrain the masses, to keep them obedient, predictable, and weak. You are told to be honest, so others can exploit your honesty. You are told to be humble, so others may stand taller above you. You are told to be merciful, so others may take advantage of your restraint. The powerful understand this contradiction. They know morality is useful, not as a master, but as a servant. To rule by virtue is to be devoured. To rule by control of virtue is to devour others. Consider the church in medieval Europe. Did it spread morality to elevate mankind, or to maintain power? Heaven was promised as a reward, hell threatened as punishment. Morality was weaponized to control kings, nobles, peasants alike. Even monarchs bowed their heads before priests, not out of pure devotion, but from fear of eternal condemnation. Morality was not truth. It was leverage. Now ask yourself, how often have you been manipulated by the morality of others? How many times has someone used guilt to force your compliance? How often have you obeyed? Not because it was wise, but because you feared being judged immoral. Think carefully. Morality in practice is often nothing more than the will of the powerful disguised as virtue. Psychology exposes this as well. People conform to moral rules not because they are universal truths, but because they crave acceptance. The herd demands obedience to shared values. To break them invites shame, exile, punishment. Few dare risk it. Thus morality is less about what is right, and more about what keeps the herd intact. But the strategist sees further. He sees that morality shifts like sand. What one age calls honorable, another calls barbaric. The Romans celebrated conquest and domination. Centuries later, men called it brutality. A leader who clings to morality as if it were eternal truth is a fool. A leader who bends morality to his advantage is a master. Consider modern politics. A politician claims to be moral, to stand for justice, for fairness, for equality. Yet behind closed doors he accepts bribes, forms alliances with the corrupt, and lies to his supporters. The public continues to believe because they crave the illusion of morality. They want to believe their leaders are virtuous. And so the mask of morality remains intact, while power operates in the shadows. And what of your own life? Do you not wear a mask of morality as well? You speak of honesty, yet you lie to protect yourself. You speak of loyalty, yet you betray when it serves your interest. You speak of compassion, yet secretly rejoice when a rival falls. This is not condemnation. It is reality. To deny it is hypocrisy. To embrace it is clarity. Understand this: morality is not useless. It is a tool. It is a language spoken by the herd. To speak it fluently is to gain trust, admiration, and loyalty. But you must never be enslaved by it. Use morality as a disguise. Preach it when it suits you. Break it when it hinders you. History rewards those who manipulate morality, not those who die by it. Think of rulers who justified war as defense, oppression as order, tyranny as stability. Did the masses resist? No. They obeyed. They believed. They marched willingly into chains because morality was used to paint chains as justice. The lesson is clear: morality binds, only the naive. The cunning transform it into strategy. So when faced with a choice, virtue or survival, honesty or advantage, loyalty or gain, what will you choose? Will you cling to the illusion of purity while others sharpen knives behind your back? Or will you wield morality as a weapon, commanding admiration with one hand and seizing power with the other? The world does not remember the man who was good. It remembers the man who was effective. But effectiveness requires something more than the mask of virtue. It demands the courage to cut ties when necessary, to betray when advantage calls for it. In the next law, you will discover why betrayal, executed with precision, does not weaken power, but strengthens it. A word sung by poets, praised by rulers, and demanded by lovers. But loyalty is fragile, a momentary illusion, a chain that snaps the instant it no longer serves interest. To believe loyalty is eternal is to invite ruin. To understand that betrayal is inevitable, and to wield it as a weapon, is the mark of true mastery. History whispers this lesson again and again. Julius Caesar trusted Brutus. He believed affection and gratitude would guard him. Yet Brutus, when opportunity came, placed ambition above loyalty and plunged the knife into his benefactor's flesh. Caesar died not because Brutus betrayed him, but because Caesar believed loyalty was stronger than ambition. And what of kings and princes who rewarded their subjects with endless generosity, convinced that gratitude would buy allegiance? Gratitude fades. Self-interest remains. Men will betray when the cost of loyalty outweighs the reward. This is not corruption, it is nature. Now ask yourself, how many have you betrayed in silence? You may not have stabbed them, but you withheld truth, concealed intentions, pursued advantage at their expense. Was it wrong? Or was it survival? Psychology explains betrayal not as moral failure, but as calculation. People act in ways that maximize gain and minimize loss. If loyalty offers security, they remain loyal. If betrayal offers greater profit, they turn. The wise man does not lament this. He anticipates it. He even designs it. Consider the Borgias, those cunning masters of Renaissance Italy. They used betrayal as currency. Allies were discarded the moment they ceased to be useful. Promises broken when they no longer served ambition. Each betrayal was not reckless, but calculated. And with each, their power grew. There is a profound truth here: betrayal, when executed with precision, is not weakness, it is strategy. But the art lies in calculation. To betray too early is to squander trust that might still serve you. To betray too often is to reveal your nature, and no one will follow you. The most effective betrayal is rare, unexpected, and devastating. A single strike, carefully prepared, can reshape the balance of power for years. Think of business. A partner, once useful, now becomes a liability. You smile, you nod, you assure him of your loyalty. Then, when the opportunity presents itself, you sever ties, take the resources, and step forward unburdened. Cold. Yes, effective, undeniably. Or think of personal relationships. A friend demands loyalty that suffocates your growth. You play the role until the moment arrives to walk away, leaving them shocked, unprepared, powerless. Betrayal frees you to pursue what loyalty would have denied. But be cautious. Betrayal must be cloaked in necessity, even virtue. If you betray openly, you invite hatred. If you betray while cloaked in justification, You appear not treacherous, but wise. Caesar fell because Brutus betrayed without securing the perception of justice. His act was seen as murder, not salvation. The cunning know how to frame betrayal as sacrifice, even duty. This is why betrayal, at its highest form, is theater. The audience must believe the act was forced, that the betrayer acted for the greater good, not selfish gain. With the right mask, betrayal becomes not only forgiven but admired. Ask yourself now, do you cling to loyalty even when it harms you? Do you hold on to allies, partners, or ideals that no longer serve your ambition? Do you fear the stigma of betrayal more than the cost of stagnation? Remember, this loyalty is temporary. Betrayal is permanent. Betrayal creates movement, shifts power, alters destiny. To refuse it is to remain bound. To master it is to step beyond the illusions that bind the weak. But you must wield it with precision. A blade drawn without timing cuts the wrong flesh. A betrayal without preparation exposes your hand and leaves you vulnerable. The true strategist knows when to wait, when to strike, and when to let loyalty live a little longer until its death becomes most profitable. You may recoil at this truth, whisper to yourself that you are above it. But deep within, you know the reality. You have betrayed before, and you will again. The only question is whether you will do it clumsily, ruled by impulse, or with calculation, ruled by strategy. The art of betrayal is not about cruelty, it is about clarity. To recognize when loyalty has expired and to act before it poisons you. Those who cannot betray when needed are not noble. They are slaves to illusion, but betrayal alone is not enough. To rule, you must also command your own heart. For what use is strategy if you are destroyed by your own emotions? In the next law, we will confront the greatest challenge of all. The art of emotional detachment. The weapon that separates those who command from those who are consumed. Power is not lost through weakness of body. It is lost through weakness of heart. A man may command armies, hold wealth, or sit upon a throne, yet if he is ruled by his emotions, he is already a slave. Anger blinds him, love binds him. Fear consumes him. Compassion softens him, and while he drowns in feeling, the cold strategist cuts his throat with reason. You must learn this emotion is not to be trusted. It clouds judgment, distorts perception, and makes men predictable prey. Look to history. Mark Antony was one of Rome's greatest generals. Skilled, charismatic, adored by his soldiers. Yet he surrendered reason to passion for Cleopatra. His obsession clouded strategy, weakened alliances, and ended in ruin at Actium. Rome was not defeated by Egypt, it was Antony defeated by himself. Contrast him with Octavian, later Augustus. Cold, detached, calculating. He did not fight for love, but for empire. He concealed his emotions, displayed only masks, and used others' passions against them. Antony burned in desire. Augustus built an empire that lasted centuries. The lesson is cruel but clear. He who cannot master his emotions will be mastered by them. Now reflect on yourself. How many choices have you made from anger, only to regret them? How many opportunities have you lost because fear whispered too loudly in your ear? How often have you been manipulated by guilt, flattery, or affection? Do you not see, those who control your emotions control you? Psychology names this emotional hijacking. When emotion overwhelms reason, the rational mind shuts down. You act without calculation, and in that moment, you are no longer free. You are a puppet. This is why emotional detachment is a weapon. It grants clarity. When others drown in rage, you remain calm. When they panic, you remain still. When they beg for sympathy, you weigh only advantage. Detachment allows you to act when others hesitate, to strike when others collapse. Consider the surgeon. He does not weep as he cuts flesh, though the sight is brutal. He focuses on precision, not sentiment. Power demands the same discipline. You must cut when necessary, betray when profitable, destroy when survival demands it. To hesitate for pity is to bleed yourself. Does this mean you must be a stone, incapable of feeling? No, that too is foolish. Emotions can be worn as masks, displayed when useful. A tear can disarm suspicion. A smile can conceal cruelty. Anger can be staged to intimidate. But always remember, the performance must never consume the actor. This is where most fail. They believe their emotions authentic, when in truth they are tools waiting to be used. Think of negotiation. Your opponent raises his voice, hoping to rattle you. If you react, he wins. If you remain calm, you unsettle him. Your detachment becomes dominance, or consider relationships. A rival mocks you, hoping to spark anger. If you erupt, you expose your weakness. If you smile coldly, you leave him uncertain, vulnerable, afraid. Detachment terrifies people because it strips them of control. They expect reaction. When none comes, they are left exposed, naked in their own frenzy. Ask yourself who truly holds power in conflict. The one who shouts or the one who listens in silence. But there is danger. Detachment can harden into isolation. A ruler too cold loses loyalty. A leader who feels nothing inspires nothing. Thus the art is balance. Show emotion when it strengthens you. Withdraw emotion when it weakens you. The great chess masters do not rage when a piece is lost. They sacrifice without hesitation because they see the larger victory ahead. So must you. When betrayal strikes, when fortune shifts, when loss wounds, do not drown in sorrow. Accept, adapt, move forward. Emotion is fleeting. Power endures. Understand this. Most people seek comfort in feelings. They believe love eternal, anger justified, compassion noble. The strategist knows better. Love fades, anger burns out, compassion is exploited, only discipline remains. So train yourself. Each time anger rises, pause. Each time fear whispers, wait. Each time affection blinds, step back. Ask, what brings me closer to power? What leads me to ruin? In that answer lies your freedom. The man who commands his emotions commands his destiny. The man who is commanded by them walks willingly into chains. Remember it. Power does not belong to the one who feels most deeply. It belongs to the one who feels, yet remains unmoved. But mastery of self is not the final weapon. To rule others, you must also master time itself. For even the most detached strategist will fail if he strikes at the wrong hour. Power does not belong to the strongest. It does not belong to the cleverest. It belongs to the one who knows when to act. A single moment, chosen well, outweighs years of effort. Strike too early, and you expose yourself. Strike too late, and the opportunity is gone forever. Timing is the invisible thread upon which all power hangs. History is littered with men who had strength, cunning, even ambition, yet failed because they misjudged the hour. Consider Napoleon. Brilliant strategist, master of the battlefield. Yet in his hunger, he overreached, invading Russia too soon in the dead of winter. His army froze, starved, and shattered. A man who could outwit nations was undone not by force, but by time itself. Contrast this with Octavian. He did not rush against Antony when Antony still held favor and strength. He waited. He watched Antony drown in passion for Cleopatra. He gathered allies, spread rumors, weakened his enemy's image. Only when Antony was vulnerable did he strike. And victory was absolute. The lesson is clear: patience is power. Now, ask yourself, how often have you ruined opportunities by acting too soon? How many times have you hesitated, waiting too long, until the moment dissolved before your eyes? You see, most men act in haste, driven by impulse. Their anger explodes before the time is ripe. Their desire drives them into traps. Or they wait endlessly, paralyzed by fear, until chance passes forever. This is why they remain pawns. The master waits, but not idly. He watches, calculates, prepares. His stillness is not weakness. It is the coiling of a serpent before the strike. Psychology reveals why timing is so decisive. Human perception itself is bound by rhythm. The brain craves patterns. Anticipation builds tension, and release magnifies impact. This is why a pause in speech commands attention. This is why silence in conflict unsettles more than shouting. By controlling when you act, you shape not just events but the minds of those around you. Think of the negotiator. If he speaks too soon, he exposes his needs. If he waits, lets the silence stretch, the other side grows nervous, desperate to fill the void. They reveal their hand, weaken their position. Silence, weaponized by timing, becomes more powerful than any argument. Or think of war. The general who attacks in anger when his army is unprepared condemns his men to slaughter. The general who waits until the enemy grows careless destroys them with half the effort. It is not force alone that decides victory. It is when force is applied. Even in personal life, timing governs everything. Reveal your ambitions too early, and rivals will block you. Confess your feelings too late, and the bond dissolves. Opportunities are like fruit. They must be plucked at the precise moment between ripeness and rot. But do not mistake patience for inaction. To wait without preparation is cowardice. To wait with preparation is mastery. The strategist uses the waiting period to gather resources, sharpen weapons, and set traps. So when the moment comes, he strikes with such precision that it seems destiny itself was on his side. Consider Genghis Khan. He did not rush into battle blindly. He sent scouts, gathered intelligence, waited until the enemy grew wary or divided. Then, with sudden speed, he struck, overwhelming forces many times his size. His genius was not only ferocity, it was timing. Ask yourself, what opportunities are ripening around you now? Do you see them? Or are you blind, rushing into shadows or waiting for perfection that never comes? The truth is this: there is no perfect time. There is only the right time, created by preparation and seized with boldness. And here lies the paradox. Patience and decisiveness must coexist. Wait too long, and patience rots into weakness. Strike without waiting, and decisiveness rots into recklessness. The art of power is walking the razor's edge between the two. To master timing, you must master yourself. Your impulses must be leashed, your fears silenced, your desires disciplined. Only then can you see the true rhythm of events unfolding and act with precision. Do you want to rule? Then learn this: above all, opportunities rarely return. Fortune favors the man who seizes her hair when she passes by, for she offers herself only briefly before vanishing forever. The man who hesitates finds only regret. The man who rushes finds only ruin. The man who waits, prepares, and strikes at the precise instant, he commands destiny itself. But remember, timing alone is not enough. A master must also know how to shape perception, to use masks, morality, fear, and betrayal in perfect harmony. And there lies the true foundation of power. In the next law, we shall unravel how appearance and reality intertwine, why men believe shadows over substance, and how illusion itself becomes a weapon sharper than any blade. Power is most secure when it hides its hand. To control openly invites rebellion. To control invisibly creates obedience that feels like choice. The weak crave guidance. The ambitious crave recognition. The fearful crave protection. Give each what they hunger for, while quietly binding them to your design. This is the essence of unseen influence. People march where you lead, while believing they walk freely. Do you see the elegance? To rule not by chains but by illusions. To win not by force, but by directing invisible strings. This is not cruelty, it is efficiency. The shepherd does not tell the flock they are trapped. He lets them believe they roam. So I ask you, will you remain among the herd, guided by unseen hands? Or will you be the one who learns to pull the strings? If you choose the latter, speak in the comments below. Subscribe for more Machiavellian strategies. And share this video, so others may serve while you command.